Now let me now go across viewers to Shivani Singh, who will walk us through who Twisha Sharma really is. Over to you, Shivani.
Right, Vaishali. On our screens, we can look at those visuals. This was Twisha Sharma. She was born on October 26, 1994 in Hathras, and the maternal home is in Sashni, Hathras. So you can see these are some of the pictures that we have managed to get from the family, and she studied at St. John's School in Hathras from grades 1 to 5. So her initial schooling was in fact in Hathras, where her maternal family actually lives, at St. John's School, and she studied at St. Francis School from grades 6 to 12, majoring in PCM, which is physics, chemistry, and mathematics. So from 6 to 12, she joined St. Francis Convent School, a very good educational background for Twisha. And then after completing her 12th, she then moved to Pune. And you can see over here some photographs that we have in fact also brought out for our viewers. After completing her 12th, she goes on to Pune. Her father worked abroad since the beginning, so he was moving to and fro in India and his place of work. Her grandfather actually worked for the railways, so she also comes from a very good family background. And in 2002, Twisha's family moved to Noida. So remember that earlier her maternal home was in Hathras, and in 2002 they moved to Noida. Remember, Twisha had moved to Pune after her graduation in 12th. Now this 33-year-old former Miss Pune and content creator from Noida. So since she was in Pune, she was the former Miss Pune as well. She participated in pageants, and she was in fact a content creator from Noida. Now she completed her BBA from the Savitribai Phule Pune University in April 2014, and she pursued an MBA from NMIMS over here through distance learning, completing it in 2024. So this was in Mumbai, the Nasimuni Management School. She pursued an MBA over there, and she completed it in 2024. Now, let's look at some of her social media posts, because that will give us an overview of the kind of person that she was. We saw that she had good schooling. She in fact was former Miss Pune. She was a content creator. But what about her personality? She described herself as a certified yoga trainer and a Vipassana meditator. So she was in fact a very calm person, because you are doing yoga. She was a yoga trainer as well. So she was into fitness. She took care of her health, and also a Vipassana meditator. There you have it. We put out that post also for you. In fact, Trisha had won the Miss Pune title in 2012. Remember, this was when she moved to Pune. She appeared in the Telugu film Murugu Monagalu. So she also appeared in a Telugu film. So she had, started off her career very well, in fact. Now, according to her LinkedIn profile, she described herself as a very dynamic professional. We are bringing out, that LinkedIn page also. She's described herself that she's a very dynamic professional with an MBA degree and a successful track record as a marketing manager in the restaurant industry. So she was, in fact, wearing many hats over here, from content creator to being in the restaurant industry to, in fact, also holding an MBA degree. And she stated herself that she loves exploring performing arts, learning from industry experts, and taking on lead roles in ads and regional films. Like we mentioned, that she's also acted in a Telugu movie. So this is something that we are bringing out for our viewers. Now, from July 2014 to April 2020, this 6-year period, she worked as a marketing manager at Flavor Pot Foods in Mumbai. So she was, in fact, after Pune, she shifted to Mumbai. Over there, she was working as a marketing manager. and then she later worked as a communication and onboarding manager at German Academy of Digital Education. So since March 2025, she was in fact working in the communications field as well with the German Academy of Digital Education, and we are in fact bringing these visuals from the family, where they have in fact given us these lovely visuals of how she was a very youthful personality. Now, Trisha's parents are Navnidhi Sharma and Rekha Sharma, based in Greater Noida. We mentioned it, that they had shifted from Hathras to Noida. Then she married Bhopal-based lawyer Samarth Singh in December 2025. So very recently, in December 2025, she married. We got you those visuals as well. And both of them met through a dating application in 2024. So just 1 year after meeting, they met through a dating application, and then they got married in December 2025. Now, she had been living in Bhopal with her husband, Samarth Singh, and his mother, retired Judge Giribala Singh. So she was in fact living with the husband and his mother, who's a retired judge, over there in Bhopal. Now, her matrimonial home was in Bhopal's Katara Hills area. So this is where the in-laws in fact lived, and these are some of the details that we have in fact for the viewers. Back to you, Vaishali.
Absolutely, Shivani. This is a young, vivacious woman, viewers, that we're talking about. You can make out from the pictures there and her profile, of course. And with that, I want to go across to Mr. Ashutosh Srivastav. He's an advocate at the Supreme Court. Mr. Srivastav, the fact, now all of these developments that are coming in, now when a retired judge's family is accused, should the investigation automatically be transferred to an independent agency like the CBI, because the girl's family is making allegations of collusion here? What would you like to say?
See, in this case, I think the SIT has already been formed, and SIT is investigating the matter. The FIR is registered. Now, if they are not happy with the SIT investigation, they may obviously go for the independent agency's investigation. They can even go to the High Court, or they can write to the government. And if the authorities feel that there is no proper investigation, then in that only case, whether the court or the government may transfer or may not transfer it to the centralized agencies, it depends as to what is the lacuna in investigation, if any, if it is left out. Now, so far as investigation is concerned, I feel that the SIT will go into the minute details as to how this incident has taken place. If the family says that it has happened because of the dowry demands or harassment, etc., then in that case, obviously the investigating agencies will also see if there is any complaint filed by her initially or during the subsistence of this marriage, whether she has filed any complaint, whether she has made such allegations or not. Maybe the SIT will also call the witnesses who would be knowing about the minute details, if there was any such demand or not. So all these aspects are to be investigated. Now, so far as prima facie, if we see the case, obviously I think the FIR must have been registered under Section 80 and 108 of PNS. Now, Section 80 says about the dowry death. So now if a woman dies after marriage within 7 years, and if it is found that there are injuries and there is suspicion, on her death, then it may be presumed that it was a death by demand of dowry or harassment. That could be the presumption. However, it will only be clarified after the thorough investigation, also the post-mortem report. If there are any injuries on her body, what kind of injuries are they? So all these aspects are to be taken into consideration. Now, when we talk about Section 108 of BNS, it speaks about abatement to suicide. So whether anybody has abated her, either of the accused, because that instigation is very important. Whether somebody instigated her to commit or to take such a drastic step, if it is found or if it is proven, then obviously the punishment could go to 10 years imprisonment also. So these are the angles of investigation. Now, when we talk about Section 108 of BNS, it speaks about abatement to suicide. So whether anybody has abated her, either of the accused, because that instigation is very important. Whether somebody instigated her to commit or to take such a drastic step, if it is found or if it is proven, then obviously the punishment could go to 10 years imprisonment also. So these are the angles of investigation. Now there could be other, investigation theory, whether she was under any depression, what was the reason of depression, whether she really committed suicide or what was it a murder. I mean, all these aspects are to be taken into minute details, and obviously the witnesses will help, the evidences will help, the autopsy report which is there will help to the investigation team to find out and to conclude the investigation. Now, so far as the bail is concerned, obviously, I think the mother who filed the bail has been granted to her. Now, it is the discretion of the court and to see whether her custodial interrogation is required by the SIT in this case or not. Based on that, the court may decide. However, if the family is not happy, if they feel that this order is defective or this order is not proper, they can still go on challenging this order before the High Court. That the bail should be cancelled on whatever grounds they feel that is which is evidential in this case, and which can make the bail futile, or it can the court can reach to a conclusion that the bail which was granted is not proper. However, as of now, yes, the anticipatory bail has been granted to the mother of the main accused, and the main accused has also filed his bail, which is pending. Now, again, the court will go into the details whether the bail should be granted or not, based on the fact that whether his custodial interrogation is required in the case. And obviously, the FIR will also speak a lot. What is the nature of FIR? What statement has been given by the complainant while registering the FIR? What are the allegations made? Is there any supportive evidence for those allegations being made? Because everything has to be considered by the court, because it is not a trial at the moment. Obviously, the trial will take time, and to conclude, that what would be the reason of her death. So that would take time, but yes, the bail is the immediate, remedy for the accused to file, and whether they get bail or not will all depend on the merit of the case, whether they are required or not required for any investigation, whether if they are granted bail, they can go and tamper the evidence or not. All these aspects, whether they can be a flight risk, whether they can leave the country and go somewhere else and they can escape all the investigation under process. So all these aspects have to be taken into consideration by the court while deciding a bail petition. And as I said, if they are not happy either with the investigation, they can go for the investigation to be conducted by the